Sourced and bottled in majestic mountains, liquid Death Mountain water will murder your thirst.
Now I'll pour it with them.
Justin was
Whoa.
headbanging.
You can tell.
Honestly, it was probably fucked up before you started headbanging. Did you like brush your hair today? Even? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Oh, wait, we got more people. Oh my god, Dirter Burglar! Everybody, Dirter Burglar's here.
Dur.
I'm all hyped up on juice.
Literally.
It's like Arrested Development. And they give
They
give Buster a juice box.
that's different because it's got the like corn syrup in it that we actually juiced
Yeah.
last night, like grapefruits and oranges and lemons.
Yeah.
Good morning, Courtney.
I've been you know how everybody learned how to bake bread during quarantine? I didn't, but I learned how to make lemonade.
More importantly, or more accurately, you learned how to use our
Or juicer add-on.
no, but what's the thing?
KitchenAid?
Our kitchen. Sorry, our KitchenAid. He's been making pancakes and using it,
That's true.
and juicing, and grating cheese.
And today,
So it's so exciting, our lives.
Today, after we're done, I'm going to attempt to make vegan pancakes, and it's probably going to be a disaster. I've mastered the nice, fluffy, normal pancakes, but I want to see if I don't use eggs, if I can make something like a pancake.
So they just tell you to use basically like coconut oil in place of the egg. I don't support this project, but oh well. Here we are. I'll be eating vegan pancakes later.
True story. Good morning, Courtney. As well.
As well as when I said it, you mean?
Mhm.
Okay.
And Dirter Burglar. Good morning, Dirter Burglar. Gotta get him to say something. Dirter.
So, well, since we have, if he ever talks, Tyler and Courtney, who's from Ohio, and Tyler lives in Indiana, the last thing I did before I fell asleep last night was I was so smart, I was on Facebook, which I don't know why I do that at all. But anyways, somebody who used to live in Indiana was talking about the fact that there's like a 17-year cicada cycle, and they're gonna come back this year. So sometime in like 2003, they were like fucking everywhere. Tyler, you would have been a baby. You wouldn't have probably remembered. And apparently this year is the 17-year cycle. It's up again. So if you live in the Midwest, or I think the Northeast, Midwest area, you fucked this summer. Obviously, Courtney lives out in LA now, so you don't got to worry about that. But Tyler, have fun with that. Courtney confirmed it. She said correct. Look it up. I don't know. It's a chick that he went to college with at IU, and she said it was disgusting. It was awful. And she said not only what Courtney just said, the trees are screaming constantly, but she was like, the smell. And I commented last thing I did before I fell asleep. I was like, the smell? Because I've never experienced cicadas. And she's like, yeah, once they start, so they mate and then they die. She's like, once they die, it smells god awful, and you can't help but like crunch over their bodies as you walk. And I was like, oh my god. So if you live in the United States and you live in the Northeast or the Midwest, that's coming this summer. So
In other news, You guys check out my sweet, sweet liquid death sweater.
Demon infused.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so be sure to drink your demon water.
Oh, you did bring one. I thought you just brought juice and coffee.
No,
It feels like brunch up in here right now. We got coffee, juice, and water. And that's how I roll when I go to brunch. It's hard to remember what going to brunch was like, but I'm always that asshole that has like 3 or 4 beverages at a brunch. And and none of them have alcohol in it usually, which is weird for most people, but
So good morning.
I like to start my days sober and end them not sober.
I like to start my days not sober and then end them not sober.
Yeah, right. That's so not true though.
That's not true. I like to start my days with water and juice and end them with water and juice. Maybe lemonade if I'm getting crazy.
No, maybe if you're getting crazy, a Dr. Pepper.
Oh. That's not true. I drink whiskey on stream.
It's true, sometimes.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? The servers are extra busy today, which means Twitch and Discord are extra quiet. It's like you guys cannot walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
That's how it is. Well, we have more non-players here today than players.
That's true.
I always drink whiskey on stream. Man, what a quote. It's a decent amount of time. But I think it's the time, like, so he's stream when he does stream by himself and it's 8 p.m. Pacific time, he's usually like fucking had it. He's usually like at the end of at the end of the day, and he's just like, ugh. So then I think sometimes he has to drink to make it through the stream. Whoa, there's a lot of typing going on.
Yeah, there's a
He's
guy.
drinking in Discord. Oh my god, has Willow been giving you updates on card backs? Her stuff is looking pretty neat. I only saw the one. You did not share the other ones with me.
I don't think it's public yet. But...
It's sweet.
Yeah. Willow would have to give us permission to share it. I'm gonna wait till she's ready.
That's really cool. I'm excited to see more then. Is there more?
But yeah, this is just the one that she's currently working on.
That's so rad. Okay.
I liquor hazed myself this past Friday, so I'm good on alcohol till my birthday. Yeah.
I don't believe that shit.
I don't believe that.
His birthday is April, right?
So that's my little brother, and there's 2 things he's good at: drinking and lying.
These are fighting words, Justin Renard.
So here he is telling me that he's not gonna drink
March.
until March.
It's your little sister's birthday is April. My bad. I just knew. Isn't Allie's birthday in April? Fuck. It's not. It's not? I'm sorry.
Anyways,
I failed as a sister.
And he's good at seducing the ladies. I'll give him that. But yeah, if he's good at drinking and lying, he says he's not going to drink till March. It doesn't bode well.
I'm cackling.
Yeah, but see, I notice I didn't put fighting on the list of things you're good at.
Sick burn.
Bring it on.
Sick burn.
I
have an attitude problem.
Somebody say that?
No, I'm saying that.
Oh.
I'm a girl, so it doesn't normally end up in like fighting, but you know me, Tyler. I obviously have an attitude problem. You've seen it.
Yeah, Julie will fuck shit up. But she's not really good at fighting either, so she'll get into a fight and then...
I got my literal ass kicked last time I engaged with a stranger that was rude to me.
Yeah.
Like he literally kicked my ass.
To be fair though,
my ass.
this was like a 6-foot tall man who was terrified of this 5-foot tall girl coming at him, so he kicked her.
I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah, Julie has first strike, for sure. Dirt Burglar says, I haven't been a seducer this whole year. I'm trying to be a moral man. Good at lying. And drinking will make you forget the morals, so... Damn!
I miss you, Tyler. It's been forever. Stupid coronavirus. When was the last time... Was that January? Was that last January that we all hung out is it Texas? San Antonio? COVID sucks. So over it. But not over it enough to just like go do whatever the fuck, because
Not cool.
I have some N95s on the way, but probably still not gonna change a lot. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting real desperate on the hair, nails front. It's like really starting to get to me. So last day of total lockdown here. Yeah. Hope your numbers are in a decline. Good for you.
Yeah, our last day of total lockdown was Friday, and our numbers are still horrible.
Lockdown is such a, I don't know. We're not really locked down. The restaurants were just closed. Now they're open again.
The only opinion that I wish to impart on everybody regarding COVID is that imagine when you were a kid and you looked up at your dad for guidance and how to live in the world, and then realize now that your dad was probably younger than you are now. Your dad didn't know shit, but you looked at him because you wanted his advice.
That's a pivotal part of growing up. I feel like the moment you realize your parents are just like idiots like everybody else.
You should take that for a metaphor as being now and looking at your governors and your congress people and your presidents for leading you. Because soon you will be their age and you'll find out that they don't know shit either. So
now
like,
that's the Great Awakening.
So I mean, what I mean is we had X amount of COVID cases here in Los Angeles and we went on total lockdown.
It was about 2,000.
And then it skyrocketed.
Hospitalizations.
And then it came down just a little bit, but it was still greater than X, and we opened everything back up again. So if X was our
6,000.
so if X was our threshold for locking everything down, and we are currently 2X down from 3X, then why are we opening back up? Because we're still well above our threshold.
Yeah.
It's they don't know what.
There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
And
so do your own research, as they say.
Hold on. Tyler says Indiana doesn't follow well with its inhabitants. We don't either, actually. You would think that you think LA, you think, oh, it's like liberal, the left state. Nah, people got burnt out on that shit, and that's why we're in a uptick right now. It is starting to come down, but it's still insane.
Two of our best friends are in Hawaii with a group of like 6 people right now, hanging out on the beach and going out to dinner.
Like it's.
I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong, but
nothing.
Their life is very different than mine.
There's so much. Yeah, the people in LA are liberal, but overall very selfish. Oh my God! Speaking of, so Dodger Stadium is one of it was a testing facility. Now it's a vaccination site, and there was this big group of anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers that gathered and protested. They had to close Dodger Stadium down for an hour. I'm like, really? You gotta protest people, like old people trying to get vaccinated? Like, why?
Willow, you said people in LA are liberal, but overall very selfish. What I'm learning from the past 12 months is that it doesn't matter if you're liberal or conservative. Most people are just really selfish.
It's just hard to not do what you want to do.
It's not always,
you know?
What's the word I'm looking for? Like ill-willed. It's not always, my brain wants to say malignant, and that's not the right word. Malicious, thank you.
The intent isn't malicious.
No, the intent's not malicious. Oftentimes, I think people are not strong, like mentally. It's like if you put somebody in solitary confinement, some people will break quicker than others. And we are effectively being told to go into solitary confinement. And some of us, I don't want to put myself above everybody, but like people like me, I'm saying people like me, when put into solitary confinement here, I will use that time to knock off my to-do list and to learn new things. And that's great for me, but that's not great for everybody else. And other people, they need that social. They're not as an introvert, and they just cannot survive for a long period of time locked in. So they go out and they break the rules and they become selfish because they need that, but it's not malicious. And they're just not introverted.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Anyway, hold on. Someone dies in LA due to COVID every 6 minutes and 10 seconds. I don't remember the exact, minutes and seconds, but there was a point maybe earlier in January where it was some astonishing number like that, where it was like, holy shit. Yesterday we had our second highest amount of deaths. It was 312 or 316 people died yesterday in Los Angeles County. the hospitalizations and the percentage of people testing positive has gone down, but still very crazy. Can you just send an Eradicator Death Droid on them? I wish. We did not buy any GameStop. He did not buy any GameStop stock. You did? Through all this? I thought you said you didn't.
I bought some.
Okay, well, he did. He did buy some. As a very social extrovert, I have still found safe ways to be social over Discord. It's not hard to not be a dick. That's true. My man. Obama. This is Obama Cat. Is that a wire? What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for the other camera. It's a wire. Okay, there we go. That's Obama Cat. Cool. So Justin got permission from Willow to show you this badass card back that she has been working on. Oh wow, Justin.
No matter what setting I use, Chrome will not.
You got all excited for that, and then it was like, oh, here's a black screen instead.
Yeah, Chrome will,
There it is.
will not work every time without me manually changing it. Yeah, so this is work in progress.
This is cool.
I've had a lot of people come on to the project for Doomtrooper and volunteer to do cards or artwork or whatever, and the list of people who have come on and actually made progress is small, and the ones who actually delivered is much smaller than that. So the fact that Willow showed up
A
and
deliverable.
actually
Well, here.
close. It's still a work in progress. It's not done yet.
To me.
But the fact that she's taken the time to figure this shit out and actually make a card back idea that could work into the game, you know, that means a lot to me because I'm very used to people with great intentions and zero follow through.
Once again, what we said about intention. DK Matt, I'm the same. I'm quite introverted, but I reached a point where I need to hang out with people. I've actually reached that point too. I'm a loner, kind of. It's just how I am. I don't do a good job at fostering relationships, responding to people's messages. Oh wow, King Effie. I'm not good at, I don't know what my deal is. I'm not like good at that. And I have even reached a point where because our lives were really busy before this. We were just always doing stuff constantly. And I have finally reached a point where I'm kind of like, oh my God. Wow, I'm bored. I'm so bored.
I finally hit that point like last week. Is like I can work on Doomtrooper. I don't want to. I can watch a movie. I don't want to. I can take
do
it. Yeah.
Anything. No, I don't. I'm just gonna keep sitting here.
I don't even want to buy shit on Amazon anymore.
What's on YouTube? Oh, skate video. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what our life has felt like.
I've started
recently.
watching skateboard videos pretty much every night. I've always been fascinated by skateboard, and I've decided I'm going to order a skate deck again. And I'm going to use the remaining of quarantine to try to learn how to do a kickflip. So if I am gone,
I will see
if I am gone from future streams, just expect I'm in the hospital with a broken bone.
You
and
won't be in the hospital because there's no room in the hospitals. Thorgle's here. Hello, Thorgle. Thank you for the Willow, who's also in stream. Made this card back. Pretty badass. Yeah, if you live on your own, struggling a lot. I get it, and I don't even know how people have been living on their own. You should definitely get a cat or fucking something. Who the hell else are you gonna talk to? Is Effie still sitting there? Wow, he really is. What is that?
That's the skateboard I'm gonna get. It's pink.
Okay.
Yeah, so Willow.
So apparently your brother has played Thorgle, which probably means you got your ass whooped if you played Thorgle.
So this card back, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Willow, but we're also going to play with the idea of animating it. Because we have the ability to animate, you know, avatars and stuff, as you've seen, but
We don't have any card backs.
Yeah, we have an animated card back
Yeah.
set, so this might be the first one we try.
Wait to play with 21 Rick. I've won like 2080? Okay, so you've won some games against Thorgle. That is, not to be taken lightly. He knows his shit.
Oh.
What is happening, Justin? Oh, that's Corgo. There's Schnitzel, everybody.
So, for anybody who wasn't here last week, so now that I'm using a mirrorless Sony a6000 as my main camera,
Fancy.
Hence
It's a fancy
camera.
camera.
It's a real camera, so hence the like higher quality and the bokeh blur in the background.
Oh.
So the standard camera that everybody uses is the Logitech C920 series or whatever. That's now my secondary camera. So now we get 1080p Corgi, which is, I believe, very exciting.
Oh, that's the camera we used to use to stream.
Yeah, and it's
okay.
real time, so there's no lag anymore.
Oh, that lag was insane.
yeah.
But you almost had that mastered when you were like, and things would show up.
Yeah.
What's your Schnitzel? Tyler's Thorgal's asking what Tyler's nickname is in the game. Is it Durder Burglar?
It probably is.
I know you've kind of retired that username on other social media accounts.
Also, so I just pushed a new update for the client, like literally during the stream.
I didn't know that. You're so handy.
Yeah, there's some dev tool work being done. Basically, every time one of your internet goes out, I get an error report. And it's gotten to the point where when I look at my errors, the list is huge, and I have to
every time just a player's internet.
Every time anything goes wrong with your internet or the game's internet, or anytime a connection is lost in between, I get hundreds of those, and I've just started to like scan the list and try to skip those, which means things are going to get lost. So I finally just got rid of all the network
What are we
errors
looking
for
at
the time
here?
being.
It's hard. It's a little hard to see on stream.
These are just the code commits. I also noticed that nobody reported that when you were in game, every card had a keyword that told you it was inactive. That was bad. So I got
every card.
Yeah.
Every single card.
Because apparently in game there's no active flag, and if something doesn't exist, it counts as false. So active was false, and it was being told to show a keyword that says this card is inactive. It'll be added soon to every card. So I fixed that.
Whoops.
There's also been a lot of complaints. If you look at, does this work? Okay, it does. Great. Something worked. So if you look at Sean Gallagher.
Hey, Sean Gallagher.
People look at this card and they say, oh, he has Slayer. It's always active. But it's not. What's happening here is Unique and Klansman are the two keywords that he has assigned to him. And then Slayer is a keyword that's in his text. But it's described here so that a new player would understand what gain Slayer means. This is common in my experience.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Slayer means you can kill in one turn instead of two.
Well, that part doesn't matter.
So
what matters is there are keywords, Unique and Klansman, that he has.
Okay.
Then there is text with certain words capitalized.
But Slayer is not one of his unique keywords. Even though
Right.
It says it.
But the right side does not define the words that this card has. The right side defines definitions. That's all it is. It's just the definitions. And Magic does this, Hearthstone does this, to my knowledge, unless I missed some critical UI component. But people are looking at this and they're saying, oh, he has Slayer. It's like, well, no, he doesn't. He gets Slayer if you use his ability, and I am describing what Slayer is on the right. But multiple people, including moderators of our own
I
chat.
still don't understand. I mean, I'm not the quickest with this kind of stuff, I'll admit.
Okay, you're a brand new player and Slayer is not here. You're going to read this card and you're going to say, target Klansman gains Slayer. Well, what the fuck is Slayer?
Right.
And you're just going to not use it because you don't know what it is. So you define it so people know what it is. That's
okay. So, oh god, I'm going to embarrass myself because I still don't
Please do, because I don't understand what you're saying.
understand so why it doesn't he have Slayer as a keyword if it says he has Slayer.
One action, target Klansman gains Slayer until beginning of next turn.
Okay.
He has an ability.
To give it to a Klansman?
What does it say?
He's a Klansman.
Correct.
So he can give himself the ability to kill in one turn instead of two?
Correct. Or another.
But he doesn't automatically have that. You have to take an action to give it to him or someone else.
Correct.
That's why I don't play video games.
Well, yeah, but see, now I'm confused if Julie is representative of everybody else who's playing this game who doesn't understand.
It's all the time because I'm dumb as rocks when it comes to this stuff. And we have these conversations where he just looks at me and he's like, about this, don't you get? And I'm just like, I don't know. And he gets like, he gets inquisitive, but then he almost gets angry because he's like, no, oh, well, you don't understand this. And I'm just like, I don't know. And he gets so mad because I'm just like, stupid? I don't know.
Anyways, the boxes on the right are just definitions. That's all they are. And they will define any word that is in bold on the card itself so that players understand what they mean. But apparently people are reporting that they think that his Slayer stays active after you use it because that keyword stays. And what I've told people, I literally will respond to somebody and say, no, that's just a definition. And they go, oh, okay. And then 5 seconds later, someone will say, yeah, I verified that bug. Slayer sticks around. I'm like, no, it's a definition. Like, is this an English language problem that people aren't understanding? Or, so anyways, I changed the rendering. So now it'll say something like definitions, and it'll list definitions underneath, but keywords that you actually have assigned to you will be at the top. So they're grouped separately. And I'm hoping that that might help some people understand it. This is one of those things that I try really hard to listen to the community about, but like I have a really hard time understanding it because it doesn't make sense to my brain. The other one is wounded warriors. So when a warrior becomes wounded, his art becomes red tinted and he flickers and all animated like he's glitching out. And multiple, let's say 100 people have said, I can't tell when warriors are wounded. You should make it stand out more. And I'm like,
I've heard that in person, and I've been like, I've pointed it out though when they're playing. I'm like, do you see how he's red and glitching now? That means he's wounded. And they're like, okay.
Yeah,
so
like, I don't
know that. It seems to like.
I just have a really hard time. It's like it doesn't stand out more. It is the only warrior on the board who is red and flashing. But like people don't understand that.
That needs to be in the tutorial. So much information.
No, I
packed
mean,
into one little...
I need to change it. But I can't wrap my head around how to change it because, to me, changing the color and flickering is like the most annoying, drastic animation I can think of, and people don't see it.
There could probably be like I don't know. There could be an initial something that happens.
Oh, jeez.
UX and game design is tricky, indeed. Oh, I tried to move it on him because the dog left the spot. Oh, goodness. This is our Buddhist boy. His name is Francis Elliott, aka Effie. Dripping blow over the face. I think you got it right the first time. Dripping blood over the face. Maybe? Not bad idea.
Also, if anyone knows a better trick, like I need to get the new Doomtrooper update, so I have to quit Steam, which then quits avatars, and then when it restarts, it will actually download what I need. And that's so annoying to me because I don't want to quit Stream Avatars, but I want the new Doomtrooper update. But there's no way to manually ask for it? I don't understand.
Something else on the screen. This is not fun.
Well, I'm not done talking.
Oh.
You started discussing things.
That's typical.
So a lot of people have been... Another one that blows my mind, but I understand, is a lot of people have been having trouble with dragging and dropping cards.
Oh God, that's the OG fight right there.
Yeah. So first off, so using the same example, so it's slightly different. There's this new text that says definitions, and the box is a different size. So maybe my thought was it would draw your eye to the word definitions, and then Slayer I put the word text, trying to think what would make sense to people whose English isn't their first language. And it is separate from Unique and Klansman. And in theory, should verify this 100%. If you activate his ability and give him Slayer, it will move up to the top. And then when he loses it, it'll move back down. So
it would move up and then definitions would go away? Is that how it's...
Honestly, I don't know.
Oh God, okay.
I'm only one man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitions will show up in certain instances when it shouldn't.
It's so tough because I know you're only one person, but it is a little... Because definitions is the exact same size font as equipment firearm, I can see how people wouldn't realize that it's like a header of a different section.
I mean...
I know, you're only one person. I get it.
I don't know what else to say.
I know. It's like going back to what Willow said.
I mean,
UX and game design is tricky.
Basically, just changing this so that people understand that Sean Gallagher doesn't have Slayer, maybe, took me the same amount of time as adding probably 2 new cards to the game. So,
Oof.
Something to consider.
Yeah.
That proves that Tyler hasn't played in a long time, but I'm glad you're back either way. So then...
Gray out the Slayer portion, yeah. It's gray out the definition.
Let's see. Slight mission cleanup and more visible combat drop area. So real quick, I'll let him play a warrior.
I for sure have not played since November. That's not that long ago.
So I'm gonna add this to more places, I think. But if I attack somebody, you'll see how it turns pink and the text changes. So for the people who try to drag it like this, it won't work because they're putting the card over the box.
Not the mouse.
But if they put the mouse over the box, it says release to play and it changes to magenta. So I'm hoping that helps a little bit.
Looks a lot better.
With the people who are having, because half the people who play drag the cursor, and that's what you're supposed to do. The transparent tiny card is just showing you what you're dragging. But the other half drag the card, which means they try to put the card over the box and release it.
The middle of the card over the middle of the box.
But nothing happens because their cursor is actually over the words tactic, which is not the drop zone.
This is things that we didn't even think about. And oh my god, this was one of the original moments of him looking at me going, what the fuck? Because whatever you were doing, I was doing the opposite. So I was moving the image and not the cursor. And then he's looking at me like, how is this not clear? And then we started taking it on the road, and we noticed a lot of people do that. They either drag the cursor or they drag the image itself, and it's a 50-50 split. It's
so also,
to tell you, when we demo this in person, it's like a full-time job. You can't even just let people play. They're like, I'm good. They get they don't want to talk to people, which I get, but I'm like,
you realize that's extremely insulting to my development ability, because you're basically saying that I suck at making a game that's easy to play.
CCGs have so much to learn up front, and they all want to play it like Hearthstone or Magic. They all want to put other warriors out. They skip the tutorial,
but
they look at me like, why?
The important thing to note, though, is that is my failure you were describing. The game should be able,
Courtney, know there's no
Courtney,
tutorial.
who does not play CCGs to my knowledge, should be able to load a game of Doomtrooper and figure it out by context clues. And if she can't, then I have failed as a developer.
We have to learn, and we have to get the tutorial to a better place.
Even without the tutorial.
That.
Even without the tutorial, you should be able to jump into a game without knowing anything, and the context clues should hold your hand. Otherwise, you will fail and you won't make any money. So,
well,
just
here we are.
Be careful with...
Just... Jesus.
So some of you guys have probably already seen the new mission page, but the special missions are separated to the top, and they can now be cleared if you want, but you won't get it back. And then the weekly missions are separated, so you can always see the weekly mission, and there are expiration dates on every mission, and it'll tell you, like this one expires in 12 hours. It'll tell you in days up to the last day, and then it'll tell you in hours. And then the daily missions I made smaller, and this patch fixed a bug that somebody found where certain daily missions had less text. Let's see if I can clear one. Oh wow, why is that so hard to click? Is it because I'm streaming? That is weird.
It looks like you can't, the X isn't clickable.
I might have another bug I have to push another update for.
Oops.
That is...
At
that
least
one's
you found
clickable.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not clickable. The 3 in daily missions. Whoops.
It might just be because I'm streaming. Anyways, the box would be too small, so I fixed it so the boxes should retain their size so they look equal side by side.
Right.
Which is nice. So it's mostly just little changes to try to make people happy and not have crashes. There was also a crash if you weren't logged in and you clicked the developer button, but only one person did it, I think. It checks for developer mode. Oops, I'm not on screen. It checks for developer mode to render these buttons, but if you're not logged in, it was erroring because it was checking something that expected you to be logged in, which is just my bad. So one person crashed that, and I fixed it. And then I have more stuff going live. It's supposed to be last night, but every time I checked, I kept coming back in here all night long trying to push an update, and there were people playing.
What a good problem to have.
Yeah, so it's a really good problem to have, although I'm realizing that I'm going to have to spend some time on our infrastructure because I need to be able to deploy updates while people are playing. That is a very important thing.
So you said that that's done by having 2 servers or something going at
Basically,
once?
yeah. But there's some pretty big changes that have to happen to the way the game calculates games to allow there to be more than one server.
They have to talk to each other.
Invader started it back in the day, but he didn't finish it, and his code is extremely over-engineered, in my opinion, to the point where it's really hard to follow, and it's all over the place, multiple code, like multiple files, all are checking to see if there's multiple servers, and it's just, I've started removing all that, and I'm going to revamp it and do it a different way. But basically, the non-nerdy version is your game data is stored in memory on the server. So if you have two servers and you connect to this one, your game exists there. But then if your internet hiccups and you connect to the other server, your game isn't there, so it won't know that you're playing. So the servers and the games need to be separate. So whatever server you connect to, it still can access a common pool of game data. So the people waiting in the lobby and all the games being played are shared among one server, two servers, 100 servers, it doesn't matter. And that's going to be a big task for me that I have to do soon. Because then I can push updates and this server can update while this one is being used. And then as soon as this one is done being used, we start pushing people to that server and then we update the other one in place and people would never even know.
Important for growth.
Yeah, that's very important as we grow because it's a good problem to have. I can't ask people to stop playing.
He would literally wait. He would like come in, he'll like look, are there any current games going on? Okay, great. No. Push the update. So it's kind of cool that there's no time for that now.
So one of the changes, which Matt actually have already, so Shell Shocked has been changed, but the code hasn't gone live yet. The last text was added. It will not exit cover unless healed, and the new part is, or the last warrior in the squad. So if he's the last warrior in the squad, then this card is effectively disabled, and the rules of the game that force you to have your last warrior out of cover take over.
Automatically, or does it take an action still?
You have to take an action, but you have to. The rules state, and it enforces that if your last warrior is in cover, your next action has to be to remove him.
Okay, so you have no choice.
But
okay.
if this card prevents you from removing him, then you can't take any other actions. So it basically locks up your game. So that has been fixed to go live. Certain cards like
Ted, it's good to see you.
Like Edward Murdoch. It says your golden lion have power immunity. So what that means is every time the game changes, Edward checks for all his golden lions, takes away their power immunity, and gives it back. That way, if you play him and then a golden lion, or I mean, if you play a golden lion and then him, he would apply his buff to everybody when he enters the squad. But then if you play another golden lion later, he was already added to the squad. So the way Doomtrooper accounts for that is anytime the game changes, he'll remove his buff from himself and the other guy, and then he'll reapply it. And that means that new guy will receive it. But if you use a card to disable his power immunity, and that triggered a game update, he would then remove the disabled power immunity and re-add it back to himself, not disabled. So I fixed that where anytime that paradigm is used, where it's removing power immunity and re-adding it, it respects whether or not it was disabled. And if it was disabled and it came from him, he'll leave it alone and he won't touch it. That applies to Edward Murdoch, Cardinal Dominic, and
Dominic.
Fukido, which is
I'm sorry, that looks like a dinosaur.
that's a Triceratops.
It is a Triceratops.
So those cards, as soon as this server update goes live, will fix the power immunity being immune to disablement.
Is that a card art that you picked, or is that original card? And is it a dinosaur?
I also
love it, though.
fixed Forgotten Orders, so it will no longer cancel the previous action, which is usually malfunction.
Sounds like someone waiting tables. Forgotten Orders.
Oh. A lot of people have.
Did this be for Mayo?
A lot of people have complained that if someone uses malfunction and then someone plays Forgotten Orders, malfunction will be gone, but the gun that malfunction targeted will still be in play. So it's basically Forgotten Orders was canceling malfunction, which is similar to what Get Me Out of Here used to do. So I changed Forgotten Orders code to match how we did it in Get Me Out of Here, which should solve the problem. Yeah. So that's going live. And then today I am working on fixing... Wow, my brain is just like dead.
Yeah, take a sip of coffee.
Um,
Everybody. Okay.
Today, my brain is working on fixing malfunction. That's why my brain malfunctioned, because I was just talking about malfunction. Because there's a bug where if you play malfunction on your target during combat, and then your opponent plays it on you, the game crashes.
Everybody's malfunctioned, including the game.
And the code is really weird. If anybody knows anything about programming, it basically says, if card exists, call card.discard. And then it crashes because it says card.discard does not exist. So it appears that it's saying, if this card exists, do it, but then the card doesn't exist. Like, it appears that that's what's happening, and that's why I was unable to solve it. But I dug deeper, and now I think that card does exist in the code, but for some reason, it's not a card code object. It's a text string or a number or something else, and that's what I have to figure out is why only when malfunction is used twice does the card not become a card anymore? It becomes something else. So it's probably an easy fix, but the journey to find the fix could be difficult.
The journey to find the
Yes,
fix.
Thorgal, malfunction forgotten orders bug is gone. I'm trying really hard to look at the stuff that people are reporting the most and that people are talking about the most in the bug reports channel and fix those ASAP. I know Michael and yourself, Thorgal, have given me lists, and I appreciate that, but I think you both fall into the trap that other people have fallen into where you think that once you made the list, that's it. And I guarantee I've forgotten about your list.
That doesn't make Michael or Thorgal feel very special.
Well, it goes back to before. I'm only one person, and I am managing...
It's not on purpose.
So if I can remember now, I am managing... There's the client, the server, the rules engine, the cards, the shared library, the AI, and the tools, and I just added a UI library, and that doesn't include Secret Cow Level and Doomtrooper's website. So that's 10 code repositories, plus the infrastructure for all of those, plus the databases, plus the mailing list systems, plus the
everything.
Social media responses, and what happens in Discord.
It's a lot.
And the bug tracker.
It's a lot.
So it's like the equivalent of my brain right now is so full.
It's so many people's...
Like if you show me an ace of spades and then you put it away and you show me a king of hearts, I will have forgotten the ace of spades exists. Like I just, there's no more room in there to remember anything.
Oh, Justin. In all fairness, you spent some time fixing bugs for my list. You just forgot you fixed them. Oh God, sorry. You're so busy.
Well, also what happens though is I fix bugs that have been reported in Discord, but I don't remember or have time to go back and fix, close the bugs on the tracker. So that's why I keep trying to get Thorgal, Michael, Wicked Sick, anybody who wants access that is a regular player and reports bugs, wants access to the bug tracker, I will give you access. But it's not just to add bugs, it's also to close bugs and find bugs that are old that have been fixed and get them out of there. To help me like produce, to get our bug list down to 0 over time. It's just too much for me to remember.
I feel like I might get in trouble for saying this, but if you put in a significant time helping with the game, you might get a thank you in the credits.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
That's
not entirely true.
Fuck, I knew I was set.
No,
I
I mean,
know I'm gonna get in trouble for this shit.
It is true, but you might also get more than a thank you in the credits. If they
That's
can,
cool.
I mean, I will say if they continue on the path that they've been on, Thorgal and Michael
Oh, definitely Michael.
are,
Come on
are
now.
both in the credits,
For
not
sure.
just like a thank you, because Michael has done an excessive amount of bug.
But
work.
also moderating.
Yeah, like he's done an excessive amount of work on the bug hunts and the QA of the game.
He's moderated Discord. He's responded to people on social
No,
media.
I know.
Like,
And Thorgal has been designing starter decks, which is a huge
help.
a huge help.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that other people don't help, but reporting bugs is great, but we
help just by hanging out.
right.
That's right.
Reporting bugs is great. Community management is great. All that is great, but going above and beyond would be reporting bugs and writing steps to reproduce and typing them into GitHub and making sure that they are tagged properly and QAing the fixes and closing the bugs when they're done. Like that, like the way I always describe when people come onto the project.
Arch Inquisitor, you've done plenty of help with bugs too. If you breaking things is part of making the game better. You break it, you fix it. You've even after he's pushed fixes, you've tested again. So
I mean, at the very least, Arch Inquisitor has got a special thanks because he is, I think, been in every stream I've ever done. Maybe missed like one.
Significant amount of streams.
So like Willow coming on to help, I mentioned earlier, like means a lot to see delivery because the common thing that happens is...
Wait, look at this. Look what Willow just said.
What?
She sent you a mock-up. It's time that we've been talking. She's made a mock-up.
So on the note of this, like, let's imagine a hypothetical world where Willow was not so amazing, which I know is hard, but bear with me. Let's imagine that she is more common folk. What would happen is she would come to me and she would say, hey, I really want to help with this game. I want to make a card back. And I would say, that's amazing. I need help. I need card backs. Please help me. And then Willow would say, okay, how do you feel about the color blue? And then I would get really busy and forget to respond to the color blue. And then Willow would just wait 6 to 12 months for me to respond to that question. It's a metaphor of people want to help. They tell me they want to help. They do a thing and they pass the ball back to me. And as long as they have passed the ball back to me, they stop working. Because they are waiting.
I can say I'm probably guilty of that kind of behavior.
She is guilty of that. They are waiting for me to answer something, to fix a code bug, to do some foundational work, to put a credit card into a system somewhere.
I don't think you care.
Whatever. And then they get to the point where they think that I just don't care about their ideas.
That does happen sometimes.
No, I forgot. Yeah. I just forgot. But...
Or something like serious broke and he had no choice but to abandon everything else for fixing the thing that is stopping people from playing.
And then I go back later and I try to explain it and I'll be like, hypothetical Willow. I'll be like, no, I really want your help, but I just need you to be autonomous. Like, ask me simple yes or no questions and I will respond to them. But other than that, take charge, get it done, and just give me something to approve. And then they'll go, well, that's not how I work. And then that's the end. And then they're off the project, more or less. And some of my best friends have done that. Some of the most promising acquaintances from the Twitch stream or Discord have done that. And I'm not mad. Like, it's a bummer for me because I want help. But on the same note, it's a bummer for them because they want to help and our styles are just not.
And then they feel slighted.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple times. So
it's nothing. I don't.
He just doesn't have the time to manage folks.
Yeah, a lot of people who mean well, they really want to help and they have really great ideas, but they need management. And this project does not have management, and I am not a management material. I'm a programmer, and I'm very overworked. So I really appreciate someone like Willow who comes in. Or, I mean, Michael and Thorgal have taken charge on things. I mentioned to Thorgal that I wanted a starter deck for every faction, and I think he made one. I've forgotten, but I'm pretty sure that Thorgal made a starter deck for every faction, which I should circle back on and get... into the game, into the deck builder. At the very least, I can add them in here to help people start to make starter decks until we add them, which will be nice.
I know. Brian, you're very helpful. Thank you so much for hanging around and for everything that you've done. We definitely appreciate you. Willow, it helps that I have industry experience, of course.
Oh, that is a...
Willow has worked on The Last of Us.
That looks like a void, but he has white. He's a tuxedo cat.
Oh, yeah. You can barely see his little face. It's all like tucked into his body.
He's sleepy. Okay, so last but not least, where did my notebook go?
Wasn't me this time.
Julie keeps moving my notebook and then I get confused.
I move this shit around a lot.
Alright, so I'll show you a list of cards that I'm working on, and I don't know which ones will make it in for this week. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
Say that all the time. I don't know why. It's a freaking commercial from forever ago.
Sacrifice of the Master. Play at any time. For each warrior you discard from your squad, you gain 10 destiny points. If played during combat, non-combatants may be discarded in this manner.
Look at that card art. It's weird skeletons
yeah.
harassing humans.
This will probably end up getting nerfed because 10 Destiny is a lot. Or we'll just go back to positive karma and make it give 10. I don't know.
Destiny.
But the new UI that I added for target select makes this card very possible. So I'm working on that
Oh,
one.
each card gives you 10? Holy crap. So you could just discard two warriors and have 20 and then be able to bring out like anything.
This one's missing art I have to figure out. But play at any time. You may immediately either draw 3 cards from your draw pile or gain 6 Destiny. The new UI I added has the ability, I mean, if you think about augments, it shows you 3 augments and you pick one. No different here.
Who's Nathaniel? Hey, come on. He just does that for dramatic effect. It's one of the cardinals.
It's the cardinal.
No, I thought like Dominic was the cardinal.
Well, who's the Pope?
Mom?
Anyways, if you think of augments, it's basically saying choose one of these 3 augments for Cybertronic. That's the same UI for this. It's choose either drawing 3 cards or 6 Destiny. So any of the choose one stuff we can do now. So I'm working on that one. If you can't tell, I'm trying to make lists. Whoa, I can't spell. I'm trying to make lists that I work off of, so it makes it a little easier to do this stuff. Martyr. Play immediately after a combat in which your unique warrior is killed. Attach the killed unique warrior to this card. It is not considered an attachment. All your... Oh, man. See, it's too much text.
He got concerned because I sneezed. Oh, he's so cute.
So this one's not going to make it in this build, but this is one of the first cards that I'm going to use to test the post-combat interrupts. So immediately after combat ends, both players get a chance to respond to the combat like it was an action. And this will be the card that I use to test with it. So as soon as your warrior dies, you play this card, and it basically like buffs up your other warriors. I think it's +3 to fight, shoot, and armor. I got to make the text smaller so that it fits.
A while ago, Matt asked about releasing that mode where we can level up the factions. I think that's still a work in progress.
I'm working on that in February, yeah. Well, that's a confusing question and answer. There are 2 things there. There is faction level or rank, which the more you play a faction, you gain experience in that faction to earn rewards. That is actually in the game now. There's just no UI for it. I track all the factions and I track the experience for the factions and I know all that. But there's no rewards for it yet, so I haven't made the UI. The other thing is the faction war system, which is on the main menu. That is a single player mode where you play 1 to 3 matches per faction and you earn some starter cards and decks for that faction by playing it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was talking about.
So basically, when you do the tutorial, you'll gain
some base
cards or 1 faction, and then you can do all of the other factions in the faction war system to earn
specific faction
cards.
So
so the idea is for the player, you get to earn a starter deck for every single faction. So a jumping off point. But for the developers, I get you to play for almost 8 hours before you get your ass kicked by Thorgal and 21 Rick. And if you've played for 8 hours and you've invested all that time and you like the lore and you've earned all those cards, and I then say, hey, here's a $5 new player pack, or here's a discount on 20 packs, or something all along those lines, I have a good chance that you might support the project and purchase something like that because you've invested that much time. And in my opinion, if I get you to play 8 hours of single player Doomtrooper and then ask you for $5, I think that's a good value proposition.
a couple
I would argue that $5 for 8 hours of fun is worth it.
It's worth a Starbucks coffee.
But in the very least, you've been exposed to all of the factions, all of the lore, and you've earned probably hundreds of cards, or over 100 cards at that point. So that's a win for me if I can get you to play that long. But I'm working on that, I would say most of February. My goal, hell or high water, by the end of February is to have the new tutorial and a few of the factions in to earn the starter decks for. I hope. So fingers crossed. Bacteria Grenade. is another one that's going in. As one tactical action, annihilate this card. The base of every opponent's warrior is permanently -2 to armor. So
The base armor of every opponent's warrior is permanently -2. That's a bummer.
yeah, I think base is going away. That doesn't really apply to our code, but it's basically everybody's armor goes down by 2 forever. It's permanent. It can't be discontinued or canceled or.
That if I put a new warrior out after this is played,
They're fine.
they're fine. Okay. Man.
So then I have some more specific cards I'm looking at. Mental Constitution.
The hell was that an image of?
Wait, the warrior has power immunity. You'll be able to
Is
activate
that a
it.
bug?
I think I have a typo somewhere I'm gonna need to look at. Or I wrote down the wrong name of the card.
Uh-oh.
But personal anti-personal minds. So this one will be going in as soon as I fix Young Guard and bring back that UI and that mechanics, which is hopefully going to be next week. If the warrior is a combatant, annihilate this card to immediately end the combat. Enemy is automatically killed. This warrior is wounded and points are earned. So it's basically you take a little guy to go after the cardinal, you blow up the mines, and you kill the cardinal. It's a suicide bomb. Very popular card in classic Doomtrooper, so that one will be interesting to add. Let's see, Carnage.
And sorry, all these cards you're going over right now, you're hoping to have fixed and live.
These are
this
just
week, or
no. These are just my list of cards
Oh,
that I'm
okay.
in the near future.
Got it.
Carnage. Play as 3 actions if you have at least 1 warrior in play. Opponent must discard his warriors in play until he has an equal number as you. Opponent chooses which warriors to discard. So this, the target select window that I finished, I've said repeatedly that is all client side. So when you play that, you make all those decisions without talking to the server. And when you're done, it goes to the server. Carnage and some other card are unique in which you need to target select as a response from the server, which we've never done before. Because I play Carnage as 3 actions, and it goes to the server. Then the server comes back, and it tells my opponent Thorgal, you must discard 3 warriors. But it's after it talks to the server. It's like a post-action target select that I need to architect.
Do you know Kite 80?
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, I guess so.
But this card is really unique because you could play,
Jackson?
you could play 1 warrior and then play Carnage, and your opponent has 6 warriors, and he just is down to 1 now. So that card will be majorly game-changing, like literally. I got a couple more. Let's see. And Stay Dead. Play during your turn.
Dead.
You have 20 seconds to examine opponent's discard pile and annihilate any 2 cards. This is the same
Wait, their
problem.
discard pile.
Yeah, so this is
Interesting.
the same problem because currently, for security reasons, you do not have access to your opponent's discard info. So when you play this card, it needs to go to the server and say, okay, Justin now has access to see Tyler's discard, but only for this card, and then you can't see it anymore. So that plays off the same system where it's a post-action.
Oh, thanks for the follow.
Hey, Jackson, thank you for following. We're just going over some cards that I'm working on right now. Cowardice. All opponent warriors go into cover. Any warrior that is already in cover is discarded unless opponent spends 5 destiny per warrior.
Damn.
Same problem. I play the card, goes to the server, comes back down, tells you which of your warriors are going to be discarded, and you pick the ones you wish to pay for. So basically, once I finish that system, all of these cards become really easy. And then these are...
Economic
Yeah, I'm
collapse.
adding a new keyword or ability called reactivation. There's a few cards that do that. So basically, you'll be able to disable a card and give it a cost. If it's disabled, you'll be able to click a button to pay whatever the cost is and remove the disabled flag.
Thank you for stopping by today, Burglar. Thanks, Tyler. Good to see you.
So this card is all players lose half their destiny rounded up, and all factories and industrial complexes in place shut down, and it costs 2 actions to reactivate. So this will put a flag on all factories and industrial complexes that say disabled unless the person plays 2 actions.
What's more valuable to you,
So it
Athens
will-
or destiny?
It will effectively be an action that an ability
Yeah.
you can activate on your factory called Activate Factory. And when you activate it, it will cost you 2 actions, and then it will just remove that flag. So it's like a dynamic ability, which is important because if you consider the first aid kit problem where people can't figure out how to activate it, the solution we're working on is the warrior holding the first aid kit would have a button that says activate first aid kit. Instead of having to drag it to the target, you would just click activate first aid kit. Easy. This is the same system. This would say, if you have first aid kit, add a button. If is disabled, add another button. And that menu would be dynamic based on what the card can currently do. And reactivating a card or a factory for 2 actions would be an ability that was added there.
Man, you got a long list, bro.
Almost done. Dull Blade. Attached to a blade is 0 actions. The blade may not be used in combat. You can reactivate for 2 actions. That one's pretty self-explanatory. And then the equivalent for guns is Jammed, which is attached to a firearm for 0 actions. Cannot be used unless you pay 2 actions. So Jammed, Dull Blade, and Economic Collapse all disable cards. And in the future, we'll obviously keep using that.
So, sorry,
ability.
so you play this and that means my warrior basically can't shoot.
He can't-
Unless I...
No, he just can't use his gun. So the gun, whatever weapon you gave him, becomes deactivated.
So that it's down to his original.
Yeah.
Their
But
original
if I
sense.
do this correctly, the warrior holding the gun would get a button that says reactivate my AC-40 justifier. So
2
you would
actions.
just click it, and it would cost you for 2 actions. When you click it, it would take your 2 actions and activate it.
And then you have 1 action left to attack. The end.
And then 2 little things unrelated to cards. I will be adding very soon, in February, a terms of service and privacy policy.
So exciting.
Which should include for our European users a first part of the GDPR. Since you guys live in Europe and I live in the US, it doesn't matter because you are users of my users are European. Therefore, I am required by law to support GDPR, and I am making it publicly known that that is my intention. I'm going to have to do a little research and refresh myself on the different pieces. There's like a data custodian and then all this different I have to define. But the gist of it is you will get the terms of service that have the basic, like, you're buying digital products and you accept that fact and you can't sue me. And
GDPR is so annoying because it requires you to remove people from your database like 100%, but then it's like, I feel like it wasn't always thought through because you're required to move them from your database, but then it's like now you don't have the information on
I think
players.
It's something along the lines of I have to be able to let you download your own data, and I have to be able to. You can ask to be deleted entirely from the system. So
which is so annoying.
Those 2 things aren't. I mean, compared to the stuff I just described for cards, those 2 things are actually pretty easy. The card stuff is way harder. So you will be soon getting. The login will change. So when you log in, got knots in my
Yeah,
hair.
your hair's messed up in the back.
Yeah, just don't look back here, people. So when you log into the game, you probably have already seen some of you have seen a big pink banner at the top that says, please verify your email, soon you won't be able to log in. So when the terms of service goes live and you haven't verified your email, you just won't be able to play. You will have to click a button and verify your email and come back. And then you will have to accept the terms of service. So I can verify you are who you say you are and that you have approved the terms of service. So you've accepted those for your playing and your purchasing and your whatever. Really, I know no one's going to read it and you're just going to click OK. But I would read it from the lawyer before it goes live. And I encourage you to read it as well and let me know if you have any problems with it. But basically, you will have to verify your email officially to play, and you'll have to verify the terms of service, approve the terms of service.
Rather.
And if anybody has any questions about GDPR or suggestions, feel free to hit me up on Discord because it is my intention to follow the law, which will include publishing our rarity rates for packs. So
Is that part of GDPR?
No, but some countries they consider packs gambling, and you have to publish the statistics. So
That's
all
right.
of that will be more accessible as well.
Right.
Yeah. So if you can't tell after all of these streams, my life is pretty much all Doomtrooper all the time.
It's been that way for
in one way or another.
5 years now.
But I am really excited that people are responding very well recently.
Hey, Steve's lurking in the
yeah,
background.
I saw
What up,
that.
Steve?
People are responding very well recently. We're getting a lot of people who stick around. we get a lot of people who are frustrated that they're not getting enough cards, and they don't want to have to buy cards just to lose to Thorgal and 21 Rick. So that's where the faction wars and the initial stuff could help a lot. I'm just hoping that I can get that done fast enough before they all quit. So we're doing what I can there. But yeah, it is really nice. The numbers have been higher. People tend to like...
You mean the people playing per day?
Yeah. And people tend to like the collecting aspect and the opening packs aspect. So
Definitely a collector.
yeah, tomorrow,
I would say.
as I announced, the collection reset will go live. So everybody will receive their packs and be able to reopen them.
I have a question. Have you decided what the season rewards are for February?
Cybertron.
Cybertronic. Okay. But we don't have any info on like what the card paths or avatars look like as of right now. Don't. Are you gonna?
We showed it last week.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, like everything blends together. Like my whole life is Doomtrooper. Show 'em again, Justin. I don't remember. I'm gonna get yelled at for this. You guys.
Camera. There it is. Ha! Green screen mode. We're all like sepia toned.
But look, Justin, I have on a sweater with green stripes.
People are gonna see through your shirt and see your boobs.
That looks. Whoop.
Yeah, so you can see right here the two Cybertronic
The
avatars.
sweater doesn't exist.
And then
Those are the card backs.
these are the two Cybertronic card backs.
Cool.
Which is actually one of my favorites. Yeah. I think that one is completely bitchin'. So that one will be fun.
Bitchin', huh? Okay, haven't heard that word come out of your mouth in a while.
So that
You want to send me that that art?
that
Okay.
will be out in February, and then
What day is this? When does February happen?
tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
tomorrow is February.
So the reset will happen tomorrow. All of the season wars will go live. Hopefully, the new starter deck. So we'll have no more people, Thorgal. We'll have no more people using the old Imperial starter deck, unless they have earned all the cards, of course. And
Can we put the kitten back up?
yeah, I have fingers crossed that the reset works right. It's kind of like a blind, I have to assume that it's going to work right, but I always have to make a few little changes. So I will log in tomorrow or at midnight tonight and make sure that my collection resets properly.
See if he would look up. He didn't. Okay. It's deep nap time right now. It's about noon. It's after noon here, so this is when they really hunker down for their sleeps.
Yeah. But yeah, as always, thanks to everybody for hanging out and bearing with me, and the 10 to 20 of you who show up for this stream. The ones who play Doomtrooper aren't just hanging out, which I love both equally. It means a lot that people like care enough about the game and care enough about the
Oh, look, he perked out.
yeah, care enough about the Mutant Chronicles world. I'm really anxious to get the new tutorial in and the new single player stuff, and then start adding more rewards and just giving people reasons to keep playing, because people like earning things. Even if they're losing to Thorgal, they will keep playing if they're earning something. And I want to make sure that I encourage that. So as always, keep the suggestions coming. And I think we're done.
We're covering his face. Oh, okay. Yes, we are done. Thank you so much. My sweater's back to normal. Have a great Sunday.
Ted, thank you. We'll chat some more, I'm sure, about our trip to Germany, hypothetically.
To anywhere, hypothetically. Oh my god.
Whoa, someone I don't know.
Hey, hold on.
Doofusidious.
Sidious, yes.
Doofusidious, and the Buck is here.
He's been here. He's been
I
working.
missed it.
He's
What's
been
up, Buck?
working. He was working.
I don't know if I know you, Doofusidious, but either way, thank you for the effort of coming to the stream and hanging out.
And then typing words.
And typing words, that's my favorite part. And I kind of announced it before, but like my Tuesday, Thursday stream last week and probably this week are kind of just iffy.
Justin needs a break, you guys.
Yeah, I'm just getting to my quarantine limit, and
Bit of a slump, I'd say.
and honestly, like, most of the Europeans are sleeping during my programming stream, so I just have to rely on randoms who think JavaScript and game development is even possible. So if they don't It's frustrating to be like exhausted and then streaming to like one person and
Streaming to Arch Inquisitor.
yeah.
Myself.
No offense, Brian. I love hanging out with you, but even you've been like lurking in my dev stream, so it's like
He's not a developer.
I know,
Neither
so,
am
like-
I. So we both lurk.
so not having anyone to talk
You know?
to. It's like I might as well just get caught up on the John Wick movies, which we've finished last
We
night.
did.
Uh,
We watched all 3. I had not seen any of
Or
them.
just spend the time like working on stuff that's not interesting to stream and getting that stuff done. And I'm gonna redo the stream a little bit, like I've always been saying, where the bot will automatically give stuff away to people who come and hang out as like a thank you. So, and I want some new overlays and stuff. So I'm gonna finish that stuff up, and then we'll come back and we'll be doing regular scheduled streams. But for now, I'm just gonna do them when I'm feeling up to it. There's a pretty good John Wick game out there. I'll have to look it up.
Not that you have time to play games.
But
be
yeah,
honest.
we'll still do the Sunday streams. I like the Sunday streams. Unless something comes up. Yeah, and you guys seem to like the Sunday stream. But the programming streams will probably come back in February after I knock out a few things.
Wait, that's tomorrow.
During February.
Oh, okay.
During.
Okay, at some
Aw.
point in February.
Kitten.
He's such a good boy, you guys. He cuddles in between us. Sometimes, like, him and I, we, like, sleep with our heads touching. It's everything I... Yeah.
He's a good boy. Speaking of good boys, Bama's still sleeping too. I'll leave you with Bama Cat. No, not it.
He was like... It's like, what the fuck? Why is this thing looking at me? Look how pissed he looks.
Oh, Crux on Discord, you've graciously taken time to respond to my chats. Yes, your idea is really good. If you haven't heard, Crux has an idea that he plays with his friends where you make your Doomtrooper deck, they make their Doomtrooper deck, and then when you play, you shuffle the decks together and both players draw from that deck. So if you come to the table with a really powerful deck, you might end up losing to your own combos from the opponent. So I'm looking into how to do that for one of
Deck shuffle.
for one of our first events. Oh yeah, let me leave you with that thought. What I'm trying to do is come up with a way to have Obama.
That was cute.
To have events that are running concurrently right now while we're finishing other stuff. So if you are a new player and you don't have any cards and you don't have any decks and you don't want to play against someone like Thorgal or Arch Inquisitor, it can be frustrating. So if there's an event lobby, maybe I can figure out a way to not segregate the lobbies too much to where I have one guy in one lobby and one guy in one lobby and no one ever gets the game.
One person.
One person, sorry. But I could do an event like Crux's thing where maybe we do that, or maybe there are pre-made decks. You're playing with like super expert decks, but you have to pick one for that event. And it's like just a special mode that takes you outside the scope of just your collection or just your deck or whatever. That might make the game entertaining for a new player. So I'm going to be looking at that in February as well. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to go try to make some vegan pancakes and pet my cat. And
I'm gonna try to eat some vegan pancakes. Wish me luck.
my little goober.
I don't even know how the consistency is gonna be without egg. We'll see. Can you play the trailer? Looking on them in Justin's dreams. He does have a soft spot for
Make
bacon.
the rank 1 players play each other in a tournament. Tournaments are coming up. We will. Oh my
Shit,
god.
shit. Becky's. Uh-oh. Double cat.
So beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, tournaments are coming this year, and we will have tools so that players can run their own tournaments. Ideally, since we are a small team, the more that I can offload to the community. Like, if Brian wants to make his own tournament and he's able to find the players and he's able to do everything, then he should be able to log into the game, say create tournament, and do his own brackets. And I don't have to do shit. I just create the tools so Brian can run a tournament. And I provide rewards and tools and whatnot. So it's part of the plan because I can't do everything myself. So the more that I can leverage the community, like Crux is designing a new mode, or Brian Arch Inquisitor running his own tournament, that's work that I can offload while I'm working on new cards and stuff.
Aww.
So it'll be great.
Kitten's leaving.
Yeah, tournaments from each streamer can run their own tournament kind of thing. I think that's a great like thing that would help Doomtrooper.
I think Obama is super suspect of the camera in front of him. Oh wait, he's starting to relax a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
but
still staring right at it.
We are not a big team, and we can't compete with
We are one.
the breadth of what like Magic Arena can do and Hearthstone can do. So the more that we can leverage the community, that is what will make us a success, in my opinion. And that's why I appreciate everybody sticking around.
You guys are like game devs now.
Yeah, you guys are
that.
honorary game devs. All right, so thank you guys for hanging out. I'm gonna go make some pancakes, and
Play the trailer.
yeah, we'll leave you with the trailer because Julie really wants to see it.
It's metal, dude.
All right, which trailer? Ours?
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
we got complaints once at a convention because it's just like like over and over again, and the person behind us was like, it's
All
like
right.
okay.
I'll see you guys next Sunday, maybe sooner. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon.